Bolo Shri Haidakhandi Bhagwan Ki Jai. Here we are back in the temple for some beautiful chanting and discord. Bolo Baba Ki Jai.
Number 23.
is yours.
Mine's good. I think it's blinking so quickly. Okay. Bule Baba Kite. I know you've been waiting now for hours for this exciting story. So once again, we're continuing our stories from the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam. And today there's a question that's being asked of Veda Vyasa, who wrote the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam. Guru, I have heard the Devi Parvati is called Satakshi, 1,000 eyes. How did she get that name? Veda Vyasa said, in time out of mind, when all beings were immensely greater than they are in these diminished times, there was a demon called Durgama. Durgama once thought to himself that the Munis who sustain Dharma in the three worlds have their strength from the Vedas. For it is with the mantras and the yagyas prescribed in the sacred books that they worship the Devas, who in turn are sustained by their worship. If the Vedas could be destroyed, that demon calculated, so could the Munis, and thus the Devas themselves could be destroyed. Durgama took himself to the loftiest Himalaya and sat in a freezing drift of snow and began an intense, unequaled tapasya. He worshipped Brahma, the creator of all races, in the space within his heart. Unflinching, never opening his eyes, breathing just once or twice every hour, that great demon sat yoked in his single obsessive purpose. 1,000 years passed, and the demon's Dion grew so powerful that the Tejas, the luster from his head, spiraled through the three worlds as subtle fire. All the finer realms were pervaded by this heat, and the Devas grew terrified. No god can ignore such a tapasya as Durgama sat in. And at the end of 1,000 years, Brahma appeared before that demon. Durgama was dazzled by the splendor of the four-faced apparition, and opening his eyes, prostrated his emaciated form before the Creator. Brahma said, ask what boon you want of me, demon, and it shall be yours. Lord of the worlds, replied the Durgama, let the Vedas belong just to me. Let the power of every mantra and all the four Vedas suffuse me, so that I can conquer the Devas and be sovereign of this world. From this moment, let no one else have the Vedas but me. After his searing penance, Brahma could not refuse what he had asked. But Brahma, who is the author of the Vedas, flinched to hear what the demon wanted. But he said, let it be so, and vanished. At once, the Brahmanas forgot the Vedas. No longer did they perform the sacred rituals that kept harmony in all things and peace and light in the world. No more did they offer worship to the Devas. The rites of the fire ceremony, the Shraddha, the Yagya, the Japa, and all of the rest became extinct, as if they had never been. No longer did the gods receive the offerings that make them strong, and with which they in turn nurture the worlds. A dreadful cry arose from the worlds, as if the very soul of creation had perished. The Brahmanas trembled and wailed, how has this happened? Soon everything was to be explained. The Asura Durgama, radiant with the immense power of the Vedas, shining like 10 suns, arrived at the gates of heaven and blew an echoing challenge on his war conch. like the thunder of the apocalypse. The Devas were so weak, they fled from the demon, knowing that they could not fight him in their condition. Indra and his people hid in the secret caverns of Mount Sumeri and began to worship the Divine Mother. Meanwhile, while the Brahmanas, having lost the Vedas, all fire ceremonies ceased on earth. Great epidemics stalked the world. Terrible plagues visited the sons of men, and even the natural beasts suffered, since there was not a drop of rain. Rivers and pools, tanks and lakes all ran dry. A savage drought swept the earth. Indeed, for 10 years this drought lasted, and millions perished. Man and beast, bird and insect, and even the plants of the world. Corpse and bones were strewn across the land. And in the case of men, no one could be found to perform the last rites or even set the dead alight, so their souls may be gathered to the fathers on high. The Brahmanas of the earth met together and climbed the blessed Himalayas, and there they sat in tapasya to the Divine Mother, Devi Bhagavati. Ceaselessly they chanted her sacred names and begged her to save the world. At last, pleased by their devotion, the Devi appeared before those Brahmanas one day. Oh, she was effulgent. She was black as coal. She was four-armed with a bow and a quiver, a lotus and the bright seeds of life in her four hands. She was entirely beautiful, and when the Brahmanas prostrated themselves at her feet and begged her to help them, it is told the Devi suddenly had 1,000 eyes all over her dark body. These eyes were wide open and full of grief to see her children's misery. She began to weep from those 1,000 eyes, and her tears flowed as precious streams and rivers down into the world. Then she raised her fourth hand and scattered the divine seeds she had in them everywhere. From them sprang up fruit trees and every kind of plant and vegetable, grass and grain all over the famined world. The Devi's tears rose into the heaven as vapor, and thunderstorms lashed the parched earth, which drank down the life-giving waters in gratitude. When all this happened in less than it takes to tell, the Devas also emerged from the caves of Sumeru, where they had huddled in fright like hunted animals. They drank the tears of the Devi's mercy and were renewed by them. And with the Brahmanas, they too began to chant to the Divine Mother of the universe. She fed them unearthly roots and fruits with her own hands, and they had their strength back. For her 1,000 eyes that wept in mercy, the Devi is called Sataksi. And for the precious green food she gave the starving Brahmanas and Devas, and indeed the earth, she is called Sakambari. Now the Devas and the Brahmanas implored her, Mother, please restore the Vedas to us, or how will we sustain even ourselves, let alone the three worlds? Meanwhile, the sinister Durgama, who ruled the heavens now, heard the thunderstorms of the Devi's tears. He saw lightning gash the sky and knew that danger threatened. That demon set out for the Himalayas with a huge army. Seeing him come, the Devas and the Brahmanas cried to the Devi in terror, Save us, Bhagavati, or we'll all die. Smiling, she drew a luminous circle of protection around them with her hand. She stayed outside the circle herself. Durgama and his army arrived, and a frenzied battle took place. The face of the sun was covered with blizzards of arrows, so darkness fell over the world, and the archers of both sides could not clearly see anymore. The mountains shook with the virile twanging of bowstrings. Pierced with 1,000 asura shafts, the Divine Mother gave out a scream to freeze the rivers of the mountain. She grew vaster still, brighter still, and now from her body there issued all the Mahashaktis, the ferocious goddesses, Kalika, Tarini, Tripura, Bhairab, Kamali, Magali, Mohini, and 10,000 others. They sprang howling from the black body of the Devi Bhagavati in a moment. And in a moment, too, the Shaktis consumed 100,000 demons with fire and banks of arrows, immense swords that hewed the heads off 10,000 demons at once. And some of the more savage goddesses swept up 1,000 asuras and stuffed them in her mouth, their mouths wide as valleys, and chewed on them, their screams echoing from sheer mountainsides, and their blood flowing down the Shakti's jowls like Beetlejuice. Durgama's roar shook the heavens and earth. In a froth, he charged the Shaktis with his other 900 legions. 10 days and nights that battle lasted. On the 10th night, Durgama performed a long and potent ritual of darkness, invoking the Atharva Veda, and on the 11th morning, he came to the battle smeared in red sandalwood paste, wearing vermilion garlands like a crimson mountain himself. He came in his black crystal chariot like a second ominous sun risen at dawn. When the arcane strength from the Vedas coursing through his body, the great demon faced Mahashaktis. They fought for barely an hour, and then those elemental women fled from him, for he was irresistible. Durgama came face to face at last with the Devi Bhagavati. They were like two figures of out of a cosmic dream of darkness and light. The Devi entirely beautiful, serene, and effulgent, and the demon dread incarnate, evil embodied. For 12 hours they fought, and while they did, the earth no longer rotated on her axis. She was so terrified with this contention. The sun stood still at his zenith, gazing down with awe at the battle. The Devas and the Brahmanas and the Suras whom the Shaktis hadn't slain all cowered in terror at its ferocity. Then, with a roar that sent avalanches hurtling down the mountain slopes, the Devi loosed 15 sizzling arrows at Durgama in the blink of an eye. The first 4 killed the Asura's horses, the 5th beheaded his Sarath, and the 6th and 7th put out Durgama's eyes. The 8th cut down his flagstaff, the 9th and 10th severed his arms, and the last 5 smashed into his heart, so it blew apart in an explosion of blood. The demon fell at the Devi's feet, and as the Devas and the Brahmanas watched, wonderstruck, a lucific light of his spirit emerged from his body and merged with the Bhagavati. The Devas and Rishis fell on their faces before the Devi and sang her praises. They saw that in her delicate hands, which had once strewn the seeds of plants across the earth, there shone something else now, blinding. With an ineffable smile, she returned the Vedas to the Brahmanas and vanished. And because she slew the demon Durgama, she became known as Durga from then on. Durga Mata Ki Jai! Mother Bhagavati Mata Ki Jai! Haidakhandi Mata Ki Jai! So any questions or moral of the stories? Okay, if you're going to talk, you have to come up here.
This is a disability I have.
What, I'm talking?
Yes.
So, pass the mic.
Yeah, I will.
So what I think wants to be of great fun and interest to us, and also of great inspiration, is that this ancient rich story almost beyond comparison. I mean, the imagery and the poetry that enlivens and underlying metaphysics is it's just like extraordinary in its beauty, in its depth, in its reminder of how moment to moment we're invited to be aware of anything other than God that's arising in us. Anyway, so this story has a big echo in the Judeo-Christian tradition in the book of Job. So Job, in some understanding, and so for some scholars, Emily will know this, was the first book of the Torah. The first, so the story of Job that parallels this is the stories of a destruction of a man as a icon and representative of all of creation, and Job is destroyed. His life is destroyed. Wife, family, kids, all the animals, everything's destroyed because Satan went to God and said, Job really isn't as good as you think he is. And God says, go. And so it's like this reminder that evil comes out. Evil is a part of creation or anti-man. I mean, we also see it in the Star Wars trilogies, right? I mean, same story. But so the turning in Job after he fights. Job's fight is not with the Assyrians and the demons, but it's with his companions who tell him, you're just a bad guy, Job. And Job says, no, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. And so this kind of argument goes back and forth. But what is transformative in the story of Job is his devotion to God. This place of pure devotion. And again, we have the great grace and gift of this tradition that invites us into devotion in such a multidimensional, rich way. Anyway, I go. So the other parallel in Job is that at the end of the story, Job sees God behind all of creation. So that's all of the eyes of the Devi, right? I mean, it's like this. So how do we as individuals and as a collective learn to see beyond the veil of the physical and see the light of God, the light of creation, the light of the Devi in everything? Forgive me. Thank you for listening.
Well, it's always interesting to me the end where it talks about Durgama when his heart bursts because he's been shot with the arrows of the Divine Mother, and a lucific light from him enters into the Mother. And that's what sort of reflecting what you're saying, that everything is Mother. Mm-hmm. Everything is the divine. Mm-hmm. Even these lucific lights. So
yeah. And in it, there's again in the Judeo-Christian tradition, in Islam, it's also there is a sense that even in our tragedies, God is present, and there is an element always of life inviting our gratitude. Probably better ways to put that, but it's like, yeah, it's like we're never separate from that.
And there's many stories where the gods and all the people of the earth and the cosmos become very complacent, and they forget. Mm-hmm. And this is usually when one of these asuras pop up to help them remember to do their practices. Yeah. And the other thing I love, of course, about this story is that it really impresses just how important these practices are to the whole world. This little fire ceremony that we do daily here is not about us.
Yeah.
It's about the whole cosmos and helping to keep balance in it. So to me, it's phenomenally important. So
Yeah.
and beautifully put.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Loke. It's lovely. And if anybody else wants to chat, are you jumping out of your seat, Karko? No, not today. Okay, so Willie Baba Ki Jai. We'll reconvene tomorrow at 8:30 on the live stream for the Devi Puja to Mother Lakshmi. And Jiwa will go up with the camera now and have darshan of our beautiful Divine Mother. Willie Baba Ki Jai.